Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why two people can start their day at the exact same time? Wake up to the same alarm clock sound, live in the same city, maybe even have the same job title? And yet 5 years later, one is living in $1 million home, running their own business, traveling the world, while the other is still stuck in the same cycle of stress, bills, and just trying to make it to Friday. It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's not even education. In most cases, the difference often starts in the first few hours of the day, before anyone else is watching, before the emails start piling up, before the world starts throwing distractions your way. This is where the gap begins. The silent, invisible habits that separate the millionaires from the average person. So, if you're serious about leveling up, if you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of watching other people succeed while you're spinning your wheels, stick with me, because in this video, we're going to break down the real, raw difference between how millionaires start their mornings versus how the average person does. And by the end, you'll have some serious tools to rethink your own routine. Before we dive in, do me a huge favor. If you're someone who's committed to growth, to taking control of your life and changing your results, then hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos like this. And trust me, when I say this next part, check the link in the first pinned comment. It's not just another random link. It's a real opportunity that's already helped thousands of people start transforming their lives in ways they never thought possible. Your future self will thank you for clicking it now. Let's get into it. The first major difference starts even before the millionaire gets out of bed. While the average person is hitting snooze for the second or third time, trying to steal just a few more minutes of broken sleep, the millionaire is already awake. But it's not about waking up at some magical hour. It's not that every millionaire wakes up at 5 in the morning. The real difference is that millionaires wake up with intention. They don't dread the day. They don't pull the covers over their head, wishing they didn't have to get up. They've trained their brain to associate mornings with opportunity, with growth, with taking one step closer to their goals. It's a mindset that's been built over time. Now, contrast that with the average person. For most people, mornings are a battle against the clock. Wake up late, rush to get dressed, maybe scroll social media for a few minutes as a way to delay getting out of bed. Check emails immediately. React. From the second their eyes open, they're already on defense. Millionaires, on the other hand, start their day on offense. Once they're out of bed, what happens next? Hydration. You'd be surprised how many successful people start their day by drinking water before anything else. The average person, coffee first, sometimes before even brushing their teeth. Not that coffee is bad, but when you wake up dehydrated and go straight for caffeine, you're just stressing your body further. And here's where it gets really interesting. Millionaires usually have a defined morning routine. This isn't about being robotic or overly strict. It's about creating a system that primes their body and mind for high performance. For some, that means a quick workout. For others, it's meditation, journaling, or reviewing their goals for the day. Some do breath work. Some take a cold shower to shock their nervous system awake. What they're doing is setting the tone, creating momentum, building discipline, before the world has a chance to distract them. Meanwhile, the average person is usually multitasking badly, half eating breakfast while checking notifications, listening to negative news first thing, letting the outside world dictate their emotional state before they've even stepped out the door. Let's talk about information intake. Millionaires are extremely intentional about what enters their mind first thing in the morning. Some listen to podcasts about business, leadership, or mindset. Others read a few pages from a personal development book. They're feeding their mind with content that aligns with their goals. The average person, they're doom-scrolling Twitter, watching memes, or letting the morning news fill their brain with fear, negativity, and things they have zero control over. And let's be real, How you start your day often dictates how the rest of your day unfolds. When you start with discipline, with gratitude, with learning, with focus, you're setting a mental trajectory that carries into your work, your decisions, and your interactions. Another critical difference is planning. Millionaires rarely enter their day without knowing their top priorities. They know what their most important task is. They've probably already blocked time on their calendar for focused work. They've decided in advance what matters most. The average person, they're reacting all day long, putting out fires, answering every notification like it's life or death, jumping from task to task without a clear strategy. Their day is dictated by whoever yells the loudest, whether it's their boss, their phone, or their inbox. And then there's movement. Physical activity in the morning is a common trait among high performers, not because they're all fitness junkies, but because they understand the link between physical energy and mental clarity. A run, a gym session, yoga, stretching, whatever it is. It gets their blood flowing and their brain firing on all cylinders. The average person, if they move at all, it's rushing out the door because they're already late. Now let's pause here for a second. If you're watching this and feeling called out, that's actually a good thing. It means you're self-aware enough to recognize where your mornings might be holding you back. And awareness is the first step to change. So if any part of this is hitting home, take a second right now to drop a comment and tell me, what's the biggest thing you want to change about your mornings starting tomorrow? I want to hear from you. And again, don't forget that link in the pinned comment. If you're serious about leveling up, that's your next step. Alright, back to the comparison. Another thing that sets millionaires apart is their relationship with their goals during the morning. Many of them take a few minutes to visualize success. They picture the deals closing, the business growing, the results they want. It sounds a bit woo-woo to some people, but visualization is a technique used by top athletes, CEOs, and performers around the world. It primes your brain to look for solutions, opportunities, and paths to achievement. The average person, they're visualizing, too. But usually it's visualizing traffic, deadlines, or all the reasons the day is going to suck. And speaking of mindset, gratitude plays a huge role. A lot of millionaires write down 3 things they're grateful for in the morning. It sounds simple, but it rewires the brain over time. It creates a bias toward positivity and opportunity. Meanwhile, the average person is often mentally listing everything that's wrong. The bills they can't pay, the boss they can't stand, the alarm clock they hate. There's also a big difference in emotional state management. Millionaires understand that how they feel in the morning affects how they perform. That's why they take steps to get their emotional state in the right place. Whether that's through music, affirmations, movement, or simply reviewing their wins from the day before, they build their mood intentionally. The average person, they let the day dictate their mood. A bad text, a news headline, even the weather can throw them off before they've even had breakfast. And let's not forget about input control. Millionaires are selective. They're not checking emails or social media first thing. They protect that first hour like it's sacred. They know that reacting to the world before setting their own agenda is a fast track to burnout and distraction. Meanwhile, the average person has probably already scrolled through 3 different apps before even getting out of bed. The bottom line is this: millionaires don't leave their mornings to chance. They engineer them. And over time, these small differences compound. Because a focused, intentional morning leads to better decisions, higher productivity, more confidence, and more wins. And more wins create momentum. And that momentum, repeated daily, turns into a different life. Now, let's talk about something that most people don't want to admit. The truth is, the way you start your morning reveals how much respect you have for your own goals. Think about that for a second. Every time you choose to sleep in, skip breakfast, ignore your body, or flood your brain with negativity right after waking up, you're sending a message to yourself. You're saying, my goals aren't urgent, my dreams can wait. I'll just react to whatever life throws at me today. But millionaires, they send a completely different message every single morning. They're saying, I'm in control. I'm building something. I'm not waiting for life to happen to me, I'm happening to life. That energy carries over. It shows up in how they handle problems, how they negotiate deals, how they spot opportunities that others miss. Success isn't something that magically appears after years of grinding. It's something they build brick by brick, and it often starts with how they build their mornings. Now you might be wondering, does this mean that every millionaire is waking up at 4 in the morning, doing a workout, reading 10 pages of a book, meditating for half an hour, and journaling like a poet? Not at all. There's no one-size-fits-all formula. The key difference is intentionality. Every part of their morning routine serves a purpose. It's aligned with their bigger goals. Let's zoom in on that word for a second: alignment. That's something the average person often overlooks. Millionaires design their mornings to align their body, mind, and energy with what they want to accomplish that day. If their goal is business growth, their morning might include reviewing KPIs or brainstorming strategies. If health is a priority, it could mean a focused gym session or a nutrient-packed breakfast. If creativity is their driver, they might start with journaling or quiet reflection. Meanwhile, the average person's morning is full of randomness. Wake up late, rush through a sugary breakfast, if they eat at all, skip movement, fill their head with social media drama, spend the first hour reacting to texts and emails that honestly could have waited. And let's talk about discipline. This is where most people struggle. Millionaires understand that discipline isn't about forcing yourself to suffer. It's about training your mind and body to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That discipline shows up first thing in the morning. It's in the decision to get up when the alarm rings. It's in the choice to go for a run, even if the bed feels warm and comfortable. It's in the habit of reviewing goals, even when they're tired. And here's the thing about discipline: it creates confidence. Every small win in the morning builds psychological momentum. The average person misses out on that. They lose those small battles, and by the time it's noon, they're already behind mentally. Now, let's get real about time management. One thing millionaires guard fiercely is their time. They know that the first few hours of the day are their most valuable. Real estate. That's when their energy is highest, their mind is sharpest, and distractions are lowest. They use that window to tackle high-leverage activities. Whether it's strategic planning, creative work, or making key decisions, they prioritize what will move the needle. The average person, they waste that golden window on tasks that don't matter, emails that could wait, social media scrolling that adds zero value, or even worse, they start their day without any clear idea of what their priorities are. Another massive difference is emotional control. Millionaires know that their emotional state affects their performance, so they prime themselves. Some use affirmations. Others practice gratitude. Many use visualization techniques. They rehearse success mentally before it happens physically. This isn't just motivational fluff. There's real neuroscience behind this. When you visualize success, you're activating the same neural pathways you'll use when actually performing the task later. The average person does the opposite. They rehearse failure without even realizing it. They wake up worrying about bills, stressing over their job, or replaying arguments from the day before. They're mentally rehearsing stress, and then they wonder why the rest of the day feels like a struggle. Now, let me make something clear. This isn't about being perfect. Millionaires have off days too. They snooze their alarms sometimes. They miss workouts. They procrastinate on tough tasks occasionally. The difference is that those days are the exception, not the norm. For the average person, chaos is the routine. For millionaires, discipline and focus are the routine. And here's another overlooked factor: decision fatigue. By having a predictable, optimized morning routine, millionaires reduce the number of decisions they have to make early in the day. They don't waste mental energy choosing what to wear, what to eat, or what task to start with. These things are either pre-decided or systematized. That way, their brain power is reserved for important decisions later. The average person burns through willpower before even leaving the house. They agonize over small decisions. They let external factors decide their mood and mindset. And by the time real challenges come their way, they're mentally drained. Let's talk briefly about learning. Millionaires are lifelong learners, and many dedicate at least a few minutes of their morning to personal development. Audiobooks, podcasts, short chapters from impactful books, whatever it is. They're feeding their brain with ideas that stretch their thinking. The average person, they're consuming entertainment, gossip, or negativity. Again, it's not about intelligence. It's about intentional input. Garbage in, garbage out. Inspiration in, creativity, and results out. Another thing worth mentioning is adaptability. Millionaires don't just blindly follow a routine for the sake of it. They're constantly refining it. If something isn't giving them energy, clarity, or focus, they adjust. They track what works and double down on it. The average person, on the other hand, often clings to bad habits out of comfort or laziness. They repeat morning patterns that don't serve them and then wonder why their life feels stagnant. Now, here's where I want you to really lean in and pay attention, because this next part matters. You don't need millions in the bank to start acting like a millionaire in the morning. You don't need fancy supplements, a personal trainer, or a meditation guru on speed dial. What you need is a decision. A decision to take control of your mornings. A decision to stop letting life dictate how you start your day. A decision to start showing up for your future self right now. Because the truth is, your morning routine is often the first domino. Knock that down, and the rest of your day, your week, your month, and eventually your life starts shifting. So here's what I want you to do right now. Take a second and drop a comment below. Tell me one change you're going to make in your morning routine starting tomorrow. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's skipping social media for the first hour. Maybe it's drinking water first thing instead of diving straight into coffee. Whatever it is, write it down. Make it real. Also, if you're finding value in this video, hit that like button. It tells YouTube this content matters and helps more people like you find it. And of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because we've got more videos coming that dive deep into routines, mindset, and success habits. And one more time, don't forget to check the link in the first pinned comment. That's where you'll find a real opportunity to fast-track your personal transformation. Thousands of people have already taken that step, and their results speak for themselves. Now, to wrap this up, here's what I want you to remember. The difference between a millionaire morning and an average morning isn't about how early you wake up. It's about how intentionally you use your time. It's not about having fancy tools or routines copied from Instagram. It's about doing the small, unsexy things consistently. Drinking water, moving your body, feeding your mind, setting your priorities, choosing gratitude, practicing discipline. Those small actions, done daily, create compound results that most people will never see because they give up too soon. So the question now is simple. Which morning do you want to live tomorrow? The one that keeps you stuck where you are, or the one that pulls you one step closer to the life you actually want? The choice is yours.